And there you go, guys. That brings us squarely up to date. Hope you enjoyed that little recap, and welcome back to Chip's Green World. For those of you who are new to the channel, that was a recap to bring you up to date of part 1 and part 2. That now done, let's move straight on to part 3. And the first thing we're going to do is clad this little section of the side wall. First putting in a vertical panel to make this corner look like a beam, matching the front vertical panel we fitted last week. We'll be fixing it to the front panel, and then we'll be also fixing it to the concrete wall. Then we'll also fit 2 vertical lats either side, which will become our fixing points for our horizontal cladding. This will be the only other part of the garage that will be clad, as I've got plans to build some kind of lean-to structure on the left hand side of the door. Tool shed stroke dry store for the bins, and it will be done in a similar style to complement the new potting studio. And to keep costs down, I'm thinking of just using masonry paint to paint the other side. As remembering, this is on a budget, folks. That said, let's get on. And there we go. One more panel and the cladding will be complete. Someone did mention in one of the comments last week, I think it was Maria. She asked, why are you putting all the screws in by hand? My drill is on the blink and I am too stubborn to go and buy a new one. And I'm a Yorkshireman, and Yorkshiremen do not part with their money easily. And I could do with the exercise after all. And as I've been told many times, at my age, if you don't use it, you lose it. So let's get this last panel screwed on, and then we'll have a clean up. Gypsy boy can have a little sweep up, and then we will get on to the paint. Exciting stuff. Which colour did we go for in the end? I think the thumbnail on the vlog might have sparked that little surprise. But there was lots of interest, there was lots of ideas put forward in the comments. I thank you for all of your suggestions. There was a rust red, which I really did like the idea of, like an American barn. There was a deep plum, looks lovely with green deep plum, like that a lot. Got ideas where I may use that somewhere else in this area, so nice tip, that one. Thank you for that idea. A few mentioned the green of the benches, the Tuscan Hill colour, bringing that in with maybe a cream or a grey, a two-tone kind of look. But I think that may be a bit too fussy, not what we're looking for. I'd be scared it would look too much like a beach hut. But I do thank you all for your great ideas. It really got me thinking. But in the end, I've gone with what the majority have chosen, which was a soft black to a dark grey. So I've gone with urban slate. So let's start painting. Now that's looking absolutely delicious. Let's move on to this. A big problem. The ants have been ruining my driveway, my block paving. Every so often I would come out and there'd be little heaps of sand. I'd wonder what it was. Then I realised it was the ants. They'd been building little nests under the driveway, and then the blocks would collapse in. And luckily the ants have moved on. So now I've took the blocks out and levelled them up and fixed the problem. Also now I've removed the bricks where the climbers are going to be planted. So I've got the other one to do on the other side, so I'll show you that now. Using my baby crowbar, I'm just going to ease this out all around, keeping a grip of it so it comes straight out. If it's at an angle you'll have trouble, so try and pull it out as level as possible. Once you've got one out, the rest is easy. The strength from a block paved driveway or pavement is the frame around the outside. That's what keeps it all in place. So once we have got our squares where we're going to be planting, we need to then build a frame around the square to keep all the block paving in place and keep its strength. And if you're lucky enough to pull out some halves, keep them because you're going to need them. Otherwise you'll have to chop some in half. And this is where your half comes in handy. Just tap it back in. And the same again, I'm lucky enough to get 2 halves already cut, so bonus. The other side I had to chop a few up. Make sure it's packed under. It's a bit loose under there, so I'm just gonna compact that. Do a bit of weeding. And we are ready to get the frames in place. I'll show you that now. So now the frames. I'm going to be using some 1x2 pressure treated timbers. I'm going to make them to the exact size so they're a snug fit to keep the strength of the driveway. And some of you seem to be quite amused with Gypsy Boy sitting down on the job, so if you look in the reflection of the glass, this should make you chuckle. Let's mark where the end of the timber comes to so we can pre-drill the holes. We don't want these frames splitting. Time for Gypsy Boy to give me a hand. He's had enough rest, I think. And I'm really sorry about the camera angle here. I got this completely wrong, so bear with me. Last screw, and then we can get these in place, and then Gypsy Boy can start digging the hole while I paint the door. And there we go. I'm just brushing in a bit of sand to keep them in place. I really should be using soft sand, but I've got none on hand, so this will have to do for now. And now that's done, Gypsy Boy can start digging the hole, ready to plant the climbers, and I am now free to paint the door. So let's do that. So there you go guys, I finished the painting. Gypsy boy is busy finishing his first hole. He's got to get a metre deep yet, and then he needs to move on to his second hole. I don't think he's going to achieve that in this episode, so that'll be in next week's episode, along with the planting of the climbers, more pots, more plants, a table. Exciting. It's going to look beautiful. So until next week, let's enjoy what we've achieved this week. So there you go guys, hope you've enjoyed. Have a great week and I will see you very soon. Thanks to the patrons, very much appreciated guys. And if you enjoyed this vlog and you'd like to support the channel, why not think about becoming a patron? Check out the Patreon link below. That said, all the best and bye for now.